I'll be back.
Go!
Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for The Running Man. I'm going to be doing this non-spoilers, of course, so feel free just to listen and see if this is worth your time. How does this compare to the original and the book? Let's jump in. A man joins a game show in which contestants are allowed to go anywhere in the world, and they are pursued by hunters hired to kill them. So this comes from director Edgar Wright, which is the main draw for me here because I love the Shaun of the Dead, the Cornetto trilogy.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!
I love Baby Driver.
Your name.
Baby.
Your name's Baby. B-A-B-Y, baby.
Also love the Stephen King original work that this is based on, and he is one of the writers that's on this, as well as Edgar Wright and Michael Bacall. And then you have the star, which is obviously Glen Powell, playing this very angry man.
Stop filming me!
He's angry at society, and he's sort of the hero because he keeps butting heads with the people in charge, the big corporates, and every job he's had. Don't worry, this is no spoiler. This is just kind of setting up his character as what they established within the beginning of this movie. And so he needs to do something. He needs to get some money, but he's at a place where he has very limited choices. His child is sick, and so we get the MacGuffin bit of the storyline that pushes him into being a part of The Running Man. Unfortunately, this film takes itself very seriously, and it's also very preachy. And stories like this always reflect back on society. We've had very similar reflections of Stephen King stories of late, like the Long Walk.
Third warning.
Which was excellently told, poignant, but also really gave us character with emotional depth. Here we have Glen, who is very much the angry man, and we sort of feel for him because they give us the slightest bit of beginning, kind of getting us into why we should care. But there isn't enough of that to make us care for this very, very angry man that is sort of brought up to be a hero, or at least is shown us through flashbacks. Now, if you've seen the trailer and you were hoping for a bunch of action in this movie, there is actually not that much action. What you've seen in the trailer is pretty much what you get. In fact, some of the shots that they show in the trailers is flashbacks, so it's not really scenes. It's more like at these moments setting up for a character what they're about to do. For me, a much better version of this film would be Guns Akimbo.
Shit goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
Right, yeah.
Much more fun, quirky, great dialogue, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. This, for me, felt like it was a 3-hour film, even though it's just over, I think it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. And Glen is fine. I didn't feel like he was that charismatic. And you have other actors in here that you thought maybe might bring some weight to the table. So we got William H. Macy, who has a bit part, is probably the best of the heart of this film, even though he's a really small part. I really liked what they were doing with that. We have Michael Cera, who plays Elton, who I feel like is just being Michael Cera in this. Coleman Domingo is definitely one of those characters you've seen in The Hunger Games, the presenters, larger than life, big showpiece presented. That is done well. And when it comes to the action of the film, it's executed somewhat well, but there isn't anything fresh in here that makes us go, oh, that's really exciting. It just kind of is play by the numbers. So you might feel like I'm coming down really hard in this film. I'm not. It just was meh. It also kind of builds to a crescendo and never really delivers on a big kind of ending piece. Instead, what it does with its ending is exposition us to death, which is a really bizarre, bonkers way to end this. I know a lot of people were saying that they were keeping to much more to the original works. I like the original movie with Arnie because it was campy, but it knew what it was.
Give you a lift.
It is dated now for sure, and there's some of that technology you kind of cringe at, but it kind of knows what it is. This one feels like it just is very serious. It preaches at you and then isn't very fun to watch. So you have bits in this you might be like a roller coaster, but unfortunately there are more lows in the roller coaster than there are highs. It's going to be a movie that you're probably going to go and watch, sort of enjoy, and then forget immediately. This will be put in the back burners of all these other films, which I think is sad because I really like Glen Powell as an actor. I love Josh Brolin. He plays generic bad guy, producer guy, and isn't more fleshed out than that at all. Not that we needed that. There's just so many characters in here that aren't fleshed out really at all. Our main protagonist feels like they try to flesh him out with the poignant story that they were trying to give us. So his character becomes the reflection of what you need to go against the man, government bad, being controlled. I think an accurate version of this film story with the balance it's trying to give would be somewhere between Guns Akimbo and then add in a bit of They Live.
I have come here to chew bubblegum.
That is the two that I would reflect that it did this quite well. Unfortunately for me, this felt very flat. I would give this half a star for the director, just because I love the director, but I didn't see any of his characteristics of editing flair, like in Baby Driver. The editing there is very much the music tempo, which I absolutely loved. In the Cornetto trilogies, those fast cuts, we don't get any of that. It just felt like it wasn't an Edgar Wright film at all. There are moments where I feel like it's starting to get creative, and then it just kind of fizzles out. I don't know how much of the studio had their hands in this and said, no, we need it to be like this. Every time it tries to get very violent, it just feels like it's playing safe by the numbers. It just is meh, which is not what I expected for this film. I sort of was thinking, yeah, Glen Powell is a lock-in for this main protagonist. The Running Man is a great Stephen King story. If done originally, like connected to the original works, is bound to be good. And the poignant reflection story is going to be more relative today now than it's ever been. All of those things are true, but none of them come together to make a complex story for it to be exciting, entertaining, and make me ever want to watch again. So I'm going to give this 1.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. I might be a little bit harsh, but for me, it was less than meh, because at the end of the day, I was annoyed at the possibility of what this film could have been. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. What do you think of the original? Have you read the book? Have you seen the original movie? Have you seen this version? When you do get to watch it, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.